What's up, everybody? Renfail here, back again with some more Rogue Trader, and today I'm fielding a comment from someone over on YouTube on my best class for new players guide that I just put up a few days ago. Now, in that video, I talked about how the fighter was the class that I would choose for most new players, but that I'm personally playing a soldier on my way through. And Problem Dog 9876 has a question. He did have a comment. I'm going to read the whole comment and get to the question at the end. See, I appreciate the honest take. So many guys out there from other CRPG YouTubers are pushing the officer/noble as the build of choice from a purely min-max perspective, not really taking into account the amount of know-how that it takes to run it effectively. I'm curious how you are differentiating your soldier sniper from Argenta and how you built it out. It's a great question, Problem Dog, and we're going to talk about this morning. Now, during the early stages of the game, I actually ran with both my soldier and Argenta in the group, but now that I've got my characters, I got more characters in my party, and I have a party that's more fully fleshed out. I actually, on a regular basis, I run my soldier with Abelard. I've got Jay as the officer. I've got Adira. I'm blanking on who else I have. Pascal and this chick who I just picked up, the Irlet, who's like a sniper. So, but she's actually an operative, so it's really interesting because this goes to show you the flexibility that you can have with how you spec your characters, because even though she's an operative, she's completely different than Idira, who's also an operative. So it's really cool how you do this. Anyway, to get back to the question at hand, how do I separate my soldier from Argenta? Now, once you get to the subclasses, this is a really easy difference to make because you could just pick a different subclass. So in the case of once I got to 16, I took her down the arch militant path, whereas my soldier went down the bounty hunter path. Now, we're not very deep into it. We're all level 20 now, so we're, I think, not quite halfway. I think it's level 50 levels in the game so far. So halfway point, getting to the halfway point. I went bounty hunter, she went armed militant. But let's talk about the early stages of the soldier and what set me apart from her and how she's spec'd. So for the most part, when you get in the early stages of the game, you're going to have the same basic abilities, but as you start to flesh them out a little bit more, you'll start to see some differences, and that does take time to build up, because out of the gate, they're pretty much exactly the same with two major differences. One is that she focuses on bolt weapons, and you can focus on something else, and because she has her own unique background, because she's a Owlcat Games character, she brings to the table her own unique things. So, you can read through her background. She has her own built-in. I should have turned that off. I am going to turn that off for the rest of the time. Thanks for the follow, Gary Taylor, over on YouTube. I always forget to turn the alert box off when I'm recording. One of the big things here, so she's got this thing called Furious Recital, because of her origin, and I don't have that. So that's a big difference between the two of us, because my origin, if we go back to mine, is Surefire Plan. So at the start of, because I went Crime Lord, so at the start of combat, the Crime Lord gains +3 attacks of Surefire Plan, and that allows me to do different things depending on what I'm going to be doing with it. So that's one of the first differentiators right out of the gate, is because our origins are different. We have two different origin talents, which do, believe it or not, it might only be one small thing that a lot of people look at as flavor, but it does dramatically change the way these characters play and the strategies that you'll use to employ them. So I'll tell you one thing, I haven't used Argenta in a while, but when I was using her on a regular basis, Furious Recital was an amazing utility buff that I would use with her, because you get an additional momentum boost. So it says here, grants momentum equal to 6. This ability also grants an additional 3 momentum for each enemy that is either in a 5-cell radius around the Sister of Battle or was hit by her this turn. If she hits a demon or chaos cultist, the additional amount of momentum doubles. So the key here is to try to make sure that she's in a position where she's surrounded by enemies, because you're going to get more out of it. This is a great way to continually boost, well, not continually, I should say, because it's once per combat, but you know, when you're in the middle of a really hairy situation and you need that extra boost of momentum to get to that heroic act that you're going to be able to do with the various different characters, pump this with her, and then you get into superior firearm mastery, and then with that rifle that she comes out of the gate with. And if you stick to bolt weapons with her, you get a pretty decent rate of fire on those. So when you get to firearm mastery, she's going to be all about taking down multiple enemies or laying down 4 or 5 additional shots on targets that are always going to be a guaranteed critical hit because of the firearm mastery. So out of the gate, that's one of the main differentiators. And because I chose a sniper rifle build with my character, um, and I went with Surefire Plan, I'm more about doing more single target damage. So my big thing is proccing Surefire Plan to get 14% more damage on a target. And if I need to use firearm mastery, I'm not going to get that many additional shots because I'm using a sniper rifle, so the rate of fire is already low. So I'm probably only going to get 2 shots versus Argenta being able to get 4 or 5, you know, kind of depending, or more, depending on the amount of, you know, just what's going on there. So those are the 2 main differentiators out of the gate, is the origin talents. But around the board, I mean, we could just take a quick look. It's going to be, we could look at the archetype talent soldier. They're pretty much the same for both. Right? Now, because she's went Arch Militant now, it's easier to separate the two because she's got different abilities. But also, if you look at just how they're specced across the board, I'm the party face, so I've taken points in Fellowship to boost that up. Not a lot, but I mean, my big thing is I've taken a ton of Persuasion points to get myself up to Persuasion 89. So I have basically 50-ish Fellowship and lots of Persuasion. And she doesn't have anything that's been boosted up like that. So her highest stat, I believe, is going to be the ballistic skill and awareness. So, you know, when you look at it that way, she's just more of an all-around DPS character, whereas I'm the face of the party. So I've got tons of persuasion to be able to use that option in conversation dialogues and stuff. And she's never going to be the face, so she's just backed in the background. So anytime that I was coming around the wheel and choosing abilities when I'm leveling up, you know, I think it was... I always forget which one these are. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload, or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. Anyway, well, it doesn't. It's still going to show me the ones I already chose. When you're going around the wheel and you're choosing things to level up, I was always going with things for my personal character that benefit me for my ballistics or my persuasion, because those are the 2 big things for me. I don't really care about movement so much because I have other things that I could do. I'm not really going to be moving around the battlefield a lot with this character. He's mostly about hunkering down in cover with his sniper rifle and having a lot of overwatch for the group. So I don't need lots of movement. So it was never about movement with my main character. It's mostly about my ability to win in conversations as the face of the party and also be a good sniper from a distance. So that's what I've focused on with him, as opposed to her, where I was just like, you know what, I just want her to be able to do lots of damage, period, and do AoE effects and everything else. And then when I got the option to choose her as a Arch Militant, I did. Now I have taken her along on a couple of times because of side missions, and I have more side missions that have her, so I will be using her in the future, but she's not a main party member because I find her religious zealotry stuff to be a little bit over the top. But that's how I've differentiated between my soldier build and the Argenta soldier build at a quick glance. Going up through the soldier ranks, as I was focused more on, you know, conversation stuff and ballistics, and she was focused more on just general damage. And then once you get to the subclasses, it's much easier to separate them out. So thanks for the question. I really appreciate that. For those of you who are watching along, if you'd like one of your questions to be answered, all you got to do is drop a comment on YouTube. in one of the videos that you see, and I check things on a daily basis. I answer about 98%, 99% of the comments that come through, and occasionally I feature them in YouTube videos like this. So stick around, like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams happen at 5 p.m. Central for the moment over the holidays. And as we get into 2024, we're going to be playing lots of other games, so make sure to check out all the other playlists. Don't forget we multi-stream on Twitch as well, so follow along there. See you in the Discord. Until next time, stay safe, everybody. Happy gaming.